Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TRS Live with your hosts Brian Keller, Matt Trotz, and Zach Huffman, presented by The Real Shot.
I'ma do this here forever. EQ. Forever.
Triune.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever. I'ma do this here forever.
Let's go.
All you haters better get comfy. This the day you've been waiting on. Your road is finna get bumpy. It's the track I'm making my statement on. I ain't going nowhere. This the place that I'm making home. I'll do this shit forever. Hit the gas and I'm taking off. Ow. I was born with passion. My job is never ending and my hustle's everlasting. No matter what, I'm gon' ball, even with my back to the wall. And the best part is that this is the beginning. I'ma do this here forever. Forever.
You know how to fight? Is that it? You're into brawlers?
Yeah.
Well, hi.
Wow. Alrighty.
Thanks for the heads up, at least.
I said we're back. Yeah, I had to click like a bunch of buttons and then it just popped right back up. I'm like, oh,
Jesus.
geez.
Oh,
We're here,
So
we're
we just
live.
learned that Megan's only the guys that fight.
Yep.
So that's good.
Yep. So hopefully your current boyfriend is a scrapper, because anyways, well, good morning. Good morning. Sorry about the delay. We had some issues, and we worked through them, but we are going to get right into the
Did
episode.
we work through them? We got it? All right.
Yep.
Good.
First and foremost, though, before we get into this talk about these
Yes.
poaching things and issues, is that mine?
Nope, that's mine.
That's yours.
My bad.
Let's talk about our catalogs.
Morning, Steve.
And we have the source sitting next to me. We have Megan Racky, who does, I don't know, you do so many things around here, just like most of us, that basically graphic design, all the annoying emails that our customers love, you put those together for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Can I blame it on you officially?
Yes.
Okay. So if people get mad, you can email Megan directly. No, I'm just kidding. No, she does a phenomenal job. So the latest one you did was the Whitetail Catalog.
Yes.
And I'm going to hold it here because I did notice when I was looking through our video content that we produce, that Zach makes, that videos where I'm not in them have way more likes than videos
Makes
where
sense.
I'm in
Yeah.
them. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to put this right here, and I'm going to let you talk about the Whitetail Catalog.
Yeah, so it's going to be all of our hottest products. So we went through and we talked with Eggert, you, Brian. Who else did we all have in there?
Mark, Steve.
Yes, Mark and Steve. So a lot of people that have been hunting for a number of years now.
I'd be curious. I bet you there's got to be 50-plus years of a hunting experience.
Well, dude, just Mark
Look-
and Steve alone's
Is there like
probably
50
like
plus
Look
years?
in the front page.
Is it really in there?
I bet there's
So
a
you
Oh
mean
number
my
right
this
there.
front,
gosh.
this front page right here?
No, but I was going to say, just not even looking. I mean, Mark and Steve have got to have 80 years between
So you think
the two
there's a
of them.
century in here of hunting?
At least. Well, between you
yeah.
and me is 40.
Oh my God.
Dude, we've been out of high school for 20 years.
Oh, thanks
Steve
for reminding.
says 50. Mark says 40.
So that's a century almost right there.
It's just those guys.
Yes.
You,
Just
me,
think about that
yeah, but
for a
you, me,
second.
and Justin's 60.
Holy shit.
Dude, you're old.
I love it too.
You're
I'm
old.
excited about
You're
it.
excited about being old?
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait. Like, I'm getting gray hairs, and I'm all
Oh,
right
you are?
with it.
I haven't noticed.
And I call it my Clooney's.
I just assumed it was
Your
me.
Clooney's.
I call it my Clooney's because George Clooney is a gray-haired, handsome man.
I bet you he
who-
knows how to fight.
For anyone who doesn't know, Matt does not know how to fight. He is confirmed.
Yeah,
to us
so
he
if you
does
wanna-
not.
if
Any
wanna-
takers?
If you want to duke it out, I'll tell you what though. I'm like,
Gotta be live, though. Gotta be live.
yeah, I'm out of shape right now.
So should we sign you up for a boxing match?
Let's do it.
Let's get you signed
No,
up.
let's give me lessons
Jimmy
first.
versus him.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
Christ.
know. Probably would. You got old man muscle. That's not fair.
There's a difference between weight room muscle and fat. Fat moves around a little bit heavier. So
Morning,
Megan,
Kyle.
get back to topic here. Talk about this thing.
All right. So, like I said, hottest products. So, all these guys went through and we picked out what their number one product would be, what they can't head out to the woods without. And so, we got a lot of ozone stuff that was definitely popular this year.
Oh, that's crazy. I walked to the front of the store yesterday, and if you can't find an ozone killing product at the Real Shot or a scent killing product done by ozone, you're not looking correctly.
No, I just wanted to say too. So that green deal you had, was that the throw and go?
Yeah, dude.
That thing was money.
That's right here.
Well,
and talk about how much it is.
I have a bone to pick with this throw and go, first of all. So I got vetoed out. That was Megan asked me when this catalog was being put together, do you have one product that we sell that you absolutely cannot live without? And I said, yeah, this. Matt Eggert's name is on it.
wow.
Well, you were talking about the G5 and it's fit better.
So yeah, so my opinion matters. But anyways,
Kinda
no.
true.
So that is a throw and go. It's $49.99.
Kind of true.
But it does matter. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sarcastically, yes.
Kind of true.
But anyways, so
Kind of matters.
I mean, you put a lot of time and energy into this. Spent a lot of Brian's money
Yes.
putting this together. So people would better go check it out.
you guys are all good at that.
Well, let's talk about that article in there too.
This
So
one?
people that are
Yeah.
looking at purchasing a bow this year,
Right now is
definitely
the
pick it
time.
up to look at that.
That's a really sweet article too.
Yes,
You know, going through and editing
it
that
is.
and whatnot. I mean, that's really informative. Especially, I mean, it's informative whether or not you've been shooting for 20 years or you're literally just looking to get into archery today.
Yep.
You know, so that's definitely worth it in its own.
It's a good
I
quality
agree.
photo.
Yes.
I mean, that's so. If anybody needs photos taken for their catalog,
of the
you
mat,
can-
that's more important.
I like the Dora the Explorer picture. I don't know why we took that out.
You didn't want it in there.
You
We
son
were
of a
supposed
gun.
to talk about that.
So, all right. So then, do you still want to talk about this one? Why don't you hold it for a while?
Yeah,
Probably
so
get
Matt
more,
doesn't throw
Well,
it.
I
we'll probably
think
get more likes and subscribes and all that kind of stuff.
Zach, if we can we put the link to the online portion in the
can.
comments?
I can't do
That
that.
would be awesome.
I
We should
did
try to bring it up and show people how cool it looks.
the flip book.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
suppose we
If
could
you
even
go
do
to
that.
well, if anybody hasn't gone to the Whitetail Wednesday post of your deer you shot last year, I had the link to the flip book right in that posting. So
I'm
go
surprised
to.
she
Good
didn't
job,
put
Matt.
herself in there, front and center.
Well, she is. She's
On the
on.
deer
I'm still in
killer.
here, but
Shot a bigger one I did last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Well, you out of
Wouldn't take it much, but
between you and Justin Muntz, Bondwell Booner, like I think you shot the biggest deer at the Real Shot last year.
Mhm.
God. There now my man card is really gone.
Oh
gone.
man.
Gone forever.
Gone.
All right. So real quick, Whitetail Catalog. If you can't make it into the store to take a peek at that catalog, you can actually hop online. I'm going to switch the camera over here to boom. And there you go. You go right over to therealshot.com. First thing you're going to see is the Whitetail Catalog, and it has a online flip book that goes through every single page, just like you're flipping through it here in store. So you can go in here, you can check out all your favorite products, and is this shoppable? Yeah, it is
Yes, it
shoppable.
is.
Yeah, so you can actually shop this. So like, say you want to pick up, let's find something cool. So like that ozone product we were talking about, right? The throw and go.
I'm really
Click
glad
that.
Matt Eggert decided to put that in the catalog.
If you click on that, it will take you to the Real Shot page. I just don't have my
Yep.
pop-up blocker disabled. So if you have a pop-up blocker, you will need to disable it for those. Otherwise, if you go into the page here, you can actually scroll through a bunch of the products that are in there. Right there to shop.
All right.
It's really
Boom.
cool.
I'm gonna interrupt. I on a suggestion, not my idea, so everybody cannot think that this is my idea. We're giving this away right
Why
now.
don't you want it to be your idea?
You should own it.
I didn't think about
If
it.
your idea
I
was
didn't
Matt
think about
Eggert's
it.
idea,
If-
Brian's idea can be your idea.
Yeah, that's true story. Right now, right here during the show, like, comment, share. We're giving away a IQ bow sight and a
We
free
should give it away like next week though, or like 2 days from now.
2 days from now.
Give some people some time to like, comment,
Right.
share.
All right.
So you should like this broadcast right now, right?
Yep, like
You
it right
should
now.
share into your stuff, and
Yep.
then take a couple friends that are probably at work right now looking for something else to do.
So we'll pick a winner, and what do we say? Monday. Let it soak over the weekend.
Yeah, soak it over the weekend.
And we
pick
can
it Monday.
announce the winner on the next show.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Oh,
There
see
it
what
is.
that is? That's trying to get them to
Boom.
come watch.
Now you
the
gotta
next
come
one.
back.
Oh.
Woo!
Is this your first day on the
My
job?
first day.
You're energetic. All right.
Well, you
So
should see me at football
one more,
last night.
Zach. Recap this one more time. What are we doing here?
All right, so you're going to like this broadcast. You're going to share this video, and then you're going to tag some friends, maybe 2, maybe 3, whatever. And then tune in next week when we announce our times, and we'll announce the winner then.
On the show next week.
On the show
All
next
right,
week.
Perfect. I love
Boom.
it. So that's an IQ and a Nocturnal set. We'll put some pictures up there. Last thing we're going to get to is also the salmon catalog that Megan
Lake
also.
Michigan is on fire right now.
It's on fire.
Which is weird because it's made of water. So
Oh.
yeah, that's right. Whipping the dad jokes.
Again, so if anybody has not seen this has been out there for a while, and it's gotten huge traction.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
Oldie but a goodie. So this
It is, and I was looking at the views just this morning, and it's going up because everybody
It's
wants
right
the
now.
hottest
Michigan.
products. Yeah.
Yep.
On fire.
So this is also in a flip book. This is Zach can put that up there. This is also available. And what we try to do with this one especially is we try to drop it in any Great Lake order that you off the website. So this is the Great Lake one. I mean, this has got phenomenal information. The cool thing about this is not only does it have Brian's, brain trust stuff in it, but it has Russell. If you don't,
It's like 80-90% Russell.
right. But I mean, 90% of the people that want to talk salmon and trout want to talk to Russell.
Oh yeah.
Right.
He just does it more than I do.
He's got a crazy following too, so it helps. But yeah, here you go. We've got this up here too as a flip book, so you can actually go in here and anything that you see, you can just click and shop. And the one thing I have to say is I love the way that this is presented, but like just from this to the Whitetail Catalog, holy cow. The Whitetail Catalog looks awesome. Like that is just crazy.
It's amazing how well you put everything together, and it looks great. So
But
please,
wait until we see this one next year.
right.
Right.
Well, that's
This one's got so many pretty
that's-
colors.
Yeah, it's going to be
Stellar.
like double the size probably
it's
too.
gonna be awesome.
and that's only one catalog progression.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're in
think
catalog number 2 right now.
about- right.
So we're doing.
And the next one will be winter, right? Is that
Ice
what we
fishing.
just? Yeah, winter. And then we'll have another spring
She
one.
sounded
and
so excited about that.
I am actually
Ice-
excited
ice-
about
that's
that.
going to be a good one
Fishing.
too. All right, so let's get right to
You
the
know, this would have
topic.
laid flatter if you went to throwing it.
He broke it. How do you break a
Broke a
catalog?
paper
Because
catalog.
I know how to fight. It's because I know how to fight.
Woo, you can
It's all
fight
like pent-up
paper.
aggression.
I fight paper.
Did practice not go well last night?
No, we had a good practice.
You had a good practice?
Yeah, so
Okay.
you're back to football
Yeah, I am.
camp. I'm got football camp going on.
I am. I got a 1-year hiatus, and then they lured me back.
I love it. Absolutely.
I'm
love
having
it.
fun this year, though.
Mhm.
I'm having fun. I went into it saying I'm just gonna make sure I have fun.
Yeah, it's fun. If you guys don't coach anything, you should think about coaching something.
It's the closest thing you can, especially football, because you're old. Can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I just found that out today that I'm old. That's cool. I'm excited about that.
We all knew that.
All right. So, what
But
we
the football thing does play into what we're talking about.
being legal and non-legal?
Being that
Illegal?
the reason, no, it's about the lights. The reason these guys are a lot of this stuff is going on is because of the lights.
Good point.
They want to keep the lights on.
I
them.
love you manhandling this one right now. You're doing a
Right?
great job.
You're like, thank you.
What was in your protein shake this
Nothing.
morning? Was that just milk?
It was just. It was
Did you just say
Herbalife.
milk?
I know.
Yeah, I say
It was just Herbalife.
Oh, nice.
No, but you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
all about the lights, right?
It's all about the lights.
It's all about the lights.
So what we had put together, some things came to light recently about some guys who
Morning, Tucker.
made a name for themselves. in
Not
the
a
outdoor-
name, like a big name.
Big
like
name.
we're talking
They're celebrities
top of the industry names.
in two different categories. And here at the Real Shot, we really like bass fishing. I mean, most of the staff does it. Plus, we have Wisco, we have an event coming up for Wisco. You know, we got fortunate enough to go to Bassmaster Classic, the MLF. I mean, all that kind of cool stuff. So when the bass fishing won, it actually came to light on one of the episodes with one of the guys from
Yeah.
MLF.
Yep.
Right.
It was
Cody Meyer.
Cody Meyer.
You're welcome.
Somebody had asked a question: "Is how does the Mike Long thing?" And I think that was right about
It
the
like
time
broke that day. Actually, I think Tucker Corey just joined us here. He was, I think, the one that asked the question.
Right. I think
Okay.
it was like maybe just the day before or 2 days before
Right.
that actually came to
Right.
light. So
So for us being old, we're not, I wasn't aware of what Mike Long
I'm just
was all
so
about.
busy. I didn't even have time to
Right.
follow it.
So what it turns out is this guy made a name for himself, a big name, right?
He was on the cover of Bassmaster
And
twice.
that's the picture that Zach shared with
Yeah.
with the other guy.
You and I were never going to be on the cover of Bassmaster.
not with that attitude.
Well, maybe if we
Maybe I will. I don't know if you ever will.
maybe if we approach things the way that Mike Long did, we might be on the cover. So, anyways, this guy was catching monster bass. I believe it was all strictly California area. And now you listen to this on what Bass
BTL,
Live?
Bass Talk Live.
Bass Talk Live.
Yeah,
And
the
you
guy that broke the story actually did that. It was on there and got interviewed.
was the cameraman for
yeah,
all
the
this.
guy that did all the investigative work. He actually went in there and he's the guy that busted him.
So he was snagging.
Yeah.
We can just call it a spade. He was snagging
Yep.
monster bass.
Yep.
I love that somebody went around. I don't have any pictures of it, but somebody went around now that I remember, photoshopping all of his photos with like the lure that he was throwing because they saw like a clip of it somewhere, like in his boat.
Well, it was
they
in his video.
They photoshopped it into all the
Yep.
fish.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
was
just
just
like a big weight with a giant treble on it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was. Absolutely.
Like,
And I
just-
mean, we have the video. We can play some clips, but I think a lot of people have seen it. But the thing about it is, like, the one comment I read is like, when is Tackle Warehouse going to have this new lure and this new rod sponsored by Mike Long? But anyways, the guy was fishing spawning bass.
Yep.
And he was snagging them with a big treble hook rig, piece of
Morning,
plastic
Scott.
on it so he could see where the bait is being presented and everything like that.
Right.
If you watch the footage, Zach, maybe you can cue up just a little bit of it after he snags one. He drives the boat out,
Way out.
way out, and then he pretends like that fish, he caught that
Yep.
fish, and he was endorsing products.
Yeah.
He was endorsing products, taking lots of pictures and saying that I caught this on such and such. This is my rod. Because didn't you say for Duckett he had his own rod?
No, Dobbins.
Dobbins. He had his own
Dobbins.
rods. So the
Were they
question,
like an extra heavy?
right, right. So like, and what if anybody read the description?
Extra heavy.
extra.
You got to be able to throw that 3-ounce weight.
So, like I said in the description of today's event, is like, could you produce all the time? And think about the pressure these guys, once you get to an elite status like him. And the other guy we're going to talk about is Chris Brackett.
Right.
There was video footage out there of
Now, his cameraman busted him too, right?
his cameraman
Or
busted
turned him
him.
in, I should
Right,
say,
and that's the
busted him,
same
turned
thing
him
with
in.
the Mike Long thing.
Well, the Mike Long thing was the kid, he went to this guy, and this is from this guy's own words on BTL. You can go out and find it. It's a Bass Talk Live podcast. But he basically said Mike Long came to him and wanted him to do his social media stuff, take pictures, videos, whatever, but he never would let him come with him. It was always, I'll call you when I catch one, and then we'll reenact it. And the guy was just, after a while, just like, what? Like, everybody on the planet, GoPros and all this stuff nowadays,
Right.
everybody's getting footage, like, almost instantaneous.
Right.
And you want to go fake reenact everything, what's going
That
on.
doesn't add
Hey,
up.
Matt, your biggest buck. Could we just go reenact that?
Yeah, right. Well, first of all, it's not
morning,
that
Justin.
big, so it's going to be a waste of your time. But no,
Big,
so
big is a relative term.
correct. It is.
Keep
It is
telling you guys
relative.
so
all
fast.
All relative.
And
Whatever helps me sleep at night. Dude.
right. Well, and that's also the reason that Megan is joining us for today's episode, because you have a background in
Game warden, yes.
game warden.
I mean, I am not affiliated with the DNR at all, so I cannot speak for them, and I have never been, per se, a game warden. I have gone through the schooling, has graduated with a degree, but again, I'm not affiliated with the DNR whatsoever.
But you have the knowledge and the background on, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that snagging bass is breaking the law.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not rocket appliances.
Well,
Right.
it's also it's also just dirty.
Well, it's more. You think about the
I mean,
morals.
breaking the law is one thing, right?
Right.
If you're trying to eat them, but now you're trying to make money, and this guy made a lot of money off of this.
Well, and that was my point in the description. I said is like, could you handle this morally, and would you reach the point where the opportunity arises? Which route would you go? Would you choose the high ground, or would you hopefully
Ethically, for me, it's a no-brainer. I couldn't stand next to some kid being Mike Long at a
Nope.
seminar taking pictures with some kid who thinks I'm like the big bass
real
guru.
deal.
I couldn't do that. I mean, this
Well-
whole store got founded because I ethically couldn't lie to people about what baits I was fishing.
right?
And that's how the
Right.
whole place got started. So for me, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, I think that, when it comes to at least the hunting side of things, I mean, the way that the bracket thing is being taken care of, I mean, if I was in the woods and I had the opportunity to take a big buck, right, you shoot it, and now his big brother walks in and he's, twice the size, you just go, you know what, maybe next year, because I can't do anything
But see,
about
that's
it.
where that pressure in the hunting industry comes from, because there's no doubt that Brackett knew that bigger deer was on the farm.
Right.
No doubt. I
Well,
don't know,
He
but
was specifically hunting that deer.
oh, right. Well, I just assume he knows, right?
Yep.
So it's that pressure of having to produce every year. They need to have them with a picture with a 160-plus inch deer every single year. I don't know if it was towards the end of his hunt or whatever that scenario was. I'm assuming
It was.
Right.
Yep.
So-
So the video footage that was out there is, I tried looking it up and I couldn't find it. I'm sure it's out there. I just didn't dig
Well, it might have
that
gotten
hard.
taken down. If you
Right.
couldn't find it, it probably got removed.
So what it was is, for those who have not seen it, is he was hunting in Indiana. on a, I believe it was a semi-guided hunt, which majority
Most of
probably
them
do.
are.
And he was hunting in like an alfalfa field or a hay field late season, so there's a lot of deer out there. Well, a nice deer came out, and light is fading fast.
How big was the one he shot?
I guess I don't know. I don't know specifics, but I'm telling you, it was probably like an
140-ish?
140-ish, a quality deer that any one of us would shoot.
Right.
Right.
You know, so and in order, because this is my question is on the high ground of it all, the morals. This guy had to produce a show.
Absolutely.
100% has to put video content out there, otherwise your show doesn't exist.
Right.
So boom, the opportunity arises. Here's my deer. Wham, slam, shoots it, dies. He literally turns to the left, like the field might have been big enough for a split, and here's this unicorn deer, 100 and something yards. Well, then the chaos starts happening, and he's in an elevated ground blind. Get on this one, and you can hear him reloading and all this kind of stuff. And
You shot with a gun?
yeah, he shot with a muzzle
Oh,
loader.
Jesus, I didn't even know that.
So he reloads, get on him, shoots, and then after he drops the next one, that's when things kind of go, yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, like some of the comments you can hear back and forth are like,
between him and the camera guy.
yeah,
Oh.
make sure you delete that other kill, that kind of stuff. And then it turned out after the article that I read that came out, because basically why we wanted to do this episode is because both these guys are guilty and they were just found guilty.
Right.
Now, we were looking on Brackett's Instagram page yesterday, and
Well, no, in the Mike Long case, though, I don't think he's made a public statement yet.
he has not.
He has removed
Has
every
he?
social media account, though. Like,
I know,
literally.
but he hasn't made an actual public statement, has he?
Long?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't see that.
No, he pulled down all of his social media accounts and stuff, obviously. I think he's just going to tuck his tail and hide.
Well, but you're guilty. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah,
just
no
like
doubt,
Brackett, the
right.
video footage is right
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
This is in this day of age.
No, but what I'm saying with Brackett is Brackett's been, banned from hunting for life.
So it was, what did we say? It was 30 months.
30 months.
Hunting
is
worldwide.
Hunting worldwide.
Okay.
While
Hunting-
he's on probation.
He had up to $30,000 in fines. And then, then they confiscated the deer. But the thing about it is, as the cameraman came out, and then another employee of his, one employee was told to dispose of the first deer, and then the cameraman was told to dispose of the footage.
Right.
And then that's when, somebody had the morals and said, this is wrong.
Right.
Well, and
Even
good
though
for
you're
those guys.
paying me to do this, like, this is not. So then it came out. And, like, I followed his cameraman for a while on Instagram and Facebook, and I was wondering why there was a disassociation, but I didn't realize that until the footage came out why
Right.
it happened.
Right.
So who did what? But Brackett is pushing on with his life.
Yes.
He made a Instagram comment. He might have did it on Facebook, but we found it on Instagram. He said, I admitted that I was guilty of a misdemeanor. Now, what he says is, I don't think the fines are justified. $30,000.
Well, I think they're trying to make an example of him.
Well, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And so in the
That's all they're doing.
in the
Yeah.
articles that I have researched and pulled up, there's multiple celebrities that have been accused and or found guilty of some illegal act of hunting, and mostly in the hunting world. The fishing world, I couldn't find as much information. But like Ted Nugent shot a bear
And that one surprised me. I didn't hear that one.
in Alaska.
Yep.
Made a not a good shot, or slightly wounded the animal. And in this area of Alaska, basically, if you shoot you
That's
hit
it.
the
Your
animal, you're
tag is
done.
filled.
Your
Yeah.
tag is
Okay.
filled. So he was unfamiliar with that law. Shot another bear. Aired all this footage. Alaska got a hold of him, fined him. I don't remember what the fines were for that one.
I don't know
But he
either.
paid him. He openly said, I was wrong. I did it incorrectly.
Right.
Spook Span is another one. That guy shot a 230-inch deer in Kansas on the ground. It's a phenomenal hunt. If you haven't seen the hunt, it's on one of the Real Tree Monster Buck episodes. It is intense. It's crazy. But
Well.
after the allegations and all that stuff came about, he did most things correct, except his tag was not for the area he shot it for.
Mm-hmm.
So then that one got crazy. That one got into a bunch of like politics with it. Like, he was also banned for 6 months from hunting worldwide.
Well, what got me is he had to return all the replicas too,
Yeah.
not besides
really?
the
Not
mount. Yeah,
only
so
the
we were
deer
kind
head.
of. I was asking him because a lot of Cabela's, purchase those replicas.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
So are they SOL? Do they have to return those? I don't know.
Well, so maybe he wasn't worldwide, but he was
So
definitely.
he was just in the wrong zone?
He was just in the wrong
Yeah.
zone.
Was he in the wrong zone by a lot?
That portion I don't really know.
Okay. You know what I mean?
Because
Like,
he had a tag to hunt his leased or owned ground in Kansas, and this deer was not shot on that leased or owned ground in Kansas. Now, I don't know how the tags work at all on this kind of stuff.
Right.
But, that's a gray area. Think about it in the state of Wisconsin for a while here with our doe tag situation. When they first came out with this new doe tag situation, it was public or private land, and you had to specify.
Right.
I only hunt public land, so that means technically if the DNR found out, let's say you have a public land tag and you shot a doe on private land and you didn't have a private land tag, you're busted if they found out about it. So that's how that gray area can happen.
See, that's kind of a weird. I didn't know that was actually a thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Did
never
you watch?
realized that.
Was it last year's Whitetail Adrenaline or the year before?
I have not watched it. Well,
one of those where the whole three quarters of the season was him fighting all this legal stuff about being on private ground versus public. 'Cause there's whole things about being on public, and we had the app, that Onyx app, and he had this whole thing. He's like, I'm on, well, it turned out the app might have been wrong and this and that, whatever.
Right.
And I'm not trying to quote that, but the same kind of thing. It's like everything's just overregulated. That's really what it comes down to.
So that's exactly what I read in the Ted Nugent article, which when I read that, because I remember when that happened, because my parents were like huge Ted Nugent fans, right?
a lot of people
like politically, right? And so I was like, I remember hearing about that. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy that he would be at the center of this. And then, when it finally got solved that, wasn't really his intention and whatnot. But then reading that article of his quotes, I mean, it's true. He's like, there's just a lot of, you've got lawmakers making 80,000 laws a year to regulate hunting.
And they've never been in the woods once.
Right.
They have no idea what they're even talking about.
And the thing about it is with so many laws right now, I bet you 90% of the wardens don't even know all the laws.
No.
No, yeah.
Maybe that's a high
guess,
whatever, but that's...
Yeah, it's a lot of looking up and doing more research.
Well, but how do you even know what to look up if you don't even know what you're doing wrong? You know what I mean?
Right.
You get these pamphlets. How are you supposed to even know?
Which aren't even worded right, by the way. Those pamphlets are worded
They are
awful.
confusing. It's like the test we have to take to be coaches.
Right.
Oh,
you can't even.
A, B, and C did.
Number one, if you're going to be a football coach, you're not smart enough to even read that question, much less know what the question says. It's just a fact, right? Like football's an aggressive, it's a type A dominant, we're just going to butt heads, right?
Right.
You're not reading questions about if R1 does this and R2 does this. What is C4 going to do?
Right. And we are having that conversation last night after practice or before practice, and one of the coaches said, you know what, as a coach, I can know the laws to a T or the rules, but he goes, some officials are just not going to agree with me.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
I could bring out the rule book and present it right to you and said, this is what it clearly states, and he goes, yeah, I don't like that. We're not going to do that.
Absolutely.
So it's.
Baseball, I had that happen a lot this year. They almost would come up and be like, I know the rules this, but because of whatever, we're not doing that today.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the right to do that.
So, I mean, we're not by any means saying that these guys are, we're not saying these guys.
I think it's more along the lines of the hunting than the fishing guys, right? The Mike Long snagging thing, I mean, everybody knows you don't snag fast, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, maybe in Alaska you can when some of those salmon come in, but that's a whole different deal.
Yeah.
Right.
But then it's just bad. The hunting thing is just some of these when the don't shoot more than your tag thing. That's pretty common sense. But where my tag is, where my tag isn't, where is that actual line? Because they draw the line in this paper map. The map's about this big, right? Right. You know what I mean? Like, where is the actual line?
Well, and think about it. In the state of Wisconsin, and so I'm sure there's other states, party hunting is allowed during the gun season, but not during the archery season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's the point? Well,
How does that make
here's my
sense?
thing with some of these laws. Like, why have a law you can't enforce?
Right.
Like, you can't enforce some of this stuff.
Well, and now
It's almost impossible to enforce it.
Yeah.
Like party hunting. How are you going to enforce that?
You can't.
And by
Why is it not
party
like-
hunting, are you talking about like driving?
No, I'm
No,
talking
no,
about
like-
you and I are hunting in the same field. I shoot your deer.
Oh.
Or the same property or whatever. Or I have Matt come up to my land. I shoot his deer. He puts his tag on it. That's party hunting.
That's
Okay.
party hunting.
Okay.
You cannot do that in archery.
Really?
Gun season, totally legit.
Totally legit.
Huh.
So, like, let's say you're hunting.
Who cares?
And $2
Right.
come out, like
Morning,
the
Harold.
situation of the bracket situation, $2
Right.
come out, and then if the cameraman in Wisconsin would have a tag, bracket could have literally shot 2 deer
Right.
during our
So that makes
Wisconsin
sense.
gun
See,
show.
that's
for
what
sure.
that's what I was thinking
From the way
of.
I
Right, for
understand
sure.
it.
That's what I was thinking of when this whole thing came out, was because then I remember, going gun hunting, that you can do that here.
Here.
And then I was like, okay, well, that would make sense. But if you still don't have the tag, you're still in the wrong. But it makes sense because especially if you're a food hunter, and if you've got, your doe tag and then your buddy who didn't hunt that day has a doe tag, now he just wants the food, but you shot it for him. Okay, now if you filled his tag and you're done. And he's done.
What's that warden sitting there literally watching you pull the trigger?
How are they going to prove it?
Right.
How?
It's like it's the same thing with archery. I don't understand it. I don't understand why during archery season, let's say my wife has a tag.
But that's what I'm saying. I meant archery.
Yeah.
If you pull the release,
Right.
Unless somebody sees you do it, how do they know who actually
well, especially
shot that?
nowadays with you don't have to register the deer. Basically, you have to register it, but you don't have to take it anywhere.
Yeah, do it
Right.
I can literally just say, "Yep, I shot it," or "Yep, they shot it." There's no. I mean, but again, it goes right back to the morals.
Right.
Now, when you shoot, let's say, even if it is a 125, the biggest deer of your life, or a basket 8-pointer, or whatever it may be at that case, and you look at that deer on the plaque or on the wall, can you literally say, like, yeah, I feel really good about that every single day, or is it a reminder of,
I think for some of these people, it's all money. They don't care.
Right.
See, now, if you listen to that BTL thing about Mike Long, the guy, the investigator kid, I shouldn't say kid, guy, he sounded like he was a younger guy. He said that he thinks that Mike Long got into bass fishing not because he even liked fishing, because he thought it was an easy way to scam people. Because he could go out and snake fish and nobody's ever going to know and all this kind of stuff. I don't know who maybe thought fishermen were all idiots. I have no idea. But that was his take on it, was the guy got into it because he thought this was something he could fix. Like he could fix this and he could make money off
a
it.
quick business opportunity.
Yep, absolutely.
And it worked for him until he got caught.
Yeah.
Right.
It was working for him.
It's like those kids who were scamming Vegas back in the day.
Yep.
Counting cards until they got busted.
Yeah.
Well, right? Same
Yeah.
thing.
See, I've never understood how you get caught counting cards when you can literally just mess up
But have you
once
ever
or
se-
twice and
Wait, but have you ever
not
seen that-
always win.
But criminals are never that smart. Again, same thing though. You could get caught. You could do it once or twice and never get busted. But the money always is the driver. It's always comes back to that every single time.
Because once you,
and then it's
just
greed.
like
Greed
anything.
takes
You know
over
that you
and
can
can't
do it. You
Yep.
know that you can do
Oh,
it
yeah.
and get away with it. Once you get away with
What
it
was
once or
that?
two
What was
times.
that movie about those MIT kids that were all scamming
21.
Vegas?
The 21?
Was
Yeah,
it?
that's a good movie too.
Oh, yeah, but
why does
awesome.
Kevin Spacey always play that guy? Everything that he's in, he's always
'cause
the
that's his-
seemingly good guy that's actually the
What
bad
is his
guy.
name?
He knows
Every
his role.
time.
What I'm
jabroni.
saying is it always comes back to money and greed
Yep.
every single time.
Yep.
And that's kind of the open-ended question to this whole conversation is, as a regular Joe, what route do you take?
Right.
Now, with these guys, the pressure has got to be phenomenal.
Oh
I
God, yeah.
couldn't imagine.
But that's not an excuse.
But it's not an excuse. No, I've been in hunting situations.
But
where
think about that bracket thing. How many times have we talked about the hunting industry kind of being corrupted by this? Everyone's got to chase big racks,
every
Right.
single time we're on TRS Live.
and we talk about hunting every time, right?
Yep.
So a guy like that, not only is he cheating it, he's fueling that stupidity.
Right.
Because he shot a giant deer, 140 inch to anybody is a big deer for the most part.
Oh, yep.
Should have just been, couldn't have just been happy with that. Had to go shoot the bigger one.
Had to
Got to
shoot the
one
bigger
up.
one.
Got to one up the Lees or whatever, right?
Well, and how many times has this happened prior to that with him or other people?
And I think that's the case. I think that's where people are just saying screw it to a lot of this stuff. They're just not going to believe anything anymore.
So
Right.
that brings up the point that Megan and I were looking into yesterday as the fines for these guys. I think you're exactly right, because like we looked it up, there's one article for a fine in the state of Wisconsin. They shot too many
for
deer.
Price County of last fall, they shot like 30 deer or something like that.
And it was a
group of kids.
$2,000 fine.
Max.
Right.
That was max. Was $2,000.
Did they have that many
fine.
tags or no? It wasn't like an egg tag situation thing? or
No, I don't know
obviously?
what the whole situation was.
But we're just the pricing. So like these celebrities are getting charged thousands and thousands of dollars.
Now think about
tens of
football.
thousands.
Think
was
about
gonna- I
football
was just
players.
gonna say that,
You talk
though.
about the NFL players though, who get busted for the same thing I could get busted for and have a $240 fine, and they're getting fined $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I just think some of it's got to be if you're at that level, your fine should be higher.
It's accountability.
Everybody's
sure.
watching
Yeah.
you.
Right.
You're an example.
You are you are a role
Lead
model
by
in a
example.
lot of situations. So again, like it's just, to me it's a hard decision. Not a hard decision to make, but like it's just the pressure of that situation. Which route would you
Well, I
go?
think this has been going on for ever.
And it's not going to stop.
No.
Since cavemen were hunting saber-toothed cats.
Oh, right. Well,
Honestly, I think this has been going on, and I would be shocked if other big names aren't doing the same thing.
We'll
then
talk about Bill.
There's
Yeah.
the Wild Game Innovations founder, the Busbies, had a show for a while. They have like millions of acres in Arkansas, I believe it is. They have like one of those, I call it a redneck type show where they build crazy stuff. Anyways, the guy was hunting in Montana, I believe, elk hunting. And this article's there as well. Shot an elk. They believe it to be a calf. Just left it lay.
Wasn't it illegal?
He didn't even have a
couldn't
tag for it.
Yeah, something along those lines. That's why he left it lay.
Right, and maybe
Well,
Zach could read through some of the. And he did it on camera. Why though? You know, and left it lay, and that was the part that he really people were like mad about. It's because
We just wasted it.
you just wasted it.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up here. I mean, that's exactly it too. Is if you're gonna poach, at least use the damn thing.
Why?
You know.
And you would think that
Why
that's why.
videotape it?
Right.
Did he know it was being videotaped?
Oh yeah, he was filming an episode.
Oh.
That reminds me of all the kids that go live on Facebook when they're speeding through traffic, going 120 down the highway, and then they go on a show off about it and then get arrested
Well,
like
think-
Or
20 minutes
licking
later.
ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, right.
yuck.
Social media is ruining the planet. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure.
Oh, it really is.
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
Right.
Because until there was social media, you didn't have this pressure or there wasn't this. It's not pressure, but this like drive to try to be famous and keep
Attention.
Because a few people
Because you
got
didn't care
famous
about
for
how
being
many likes you
themselves.
got. You just got up in the morning and you ate your own ice cream and you went to work and then you came home.
Right.
Like
Love
you didn't
breakfast
care.
ice cream.
Like I didn't care what you had for breakfast. Like I
Right.
still don't care.
Yeah.
You right?
No, you're exactly
That's what's
right.
ruining it is
But-
social media.
But then you look at it.
it's
and
a zombie apocalypse.
on a daily basis. Our job is built around social media.
Well, yours is.
Isn't that
but because
weird?
we don't have a choice. No, I'm not, right? Like, you don't have a choice, but on the same token, I'm not necessarily, I don't know if it's good.
Right.
Because you'd still have a job. If it wasn't social media, it would be marketing. It would just be traditional marketing.
Traditional
Right.
marketing.
Right? Television, radio, we'd be
Yep.
doing things differently.
Right.
This is just where all the people are.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that it's necessarily good.
Right. No,
Right?
I totally
Or
agree
people
with you.
they don't know how to handle it.
No, I think that's 100% it. People just don't know how to handle
like
social media.
Spider-Man, they-
Because, you think about it, is now all eyes on you, and the part of the human condition is attention. People like attention. Look at me, look what I can do, look why I'm different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So now you put that light on people, and then they say, well, off of social media, you don't know what I do. So
Right.
as long as on social media, it's like those people, like this exact stuff is exactly like those people who go on one vacation a year and then spread the photos out for a whole year talking about how their
Gone
life
all
is
the
just
time.
amazing. It's the same thing with the hunting world and the fishing world. Is you see some of these people that catch a fish 6 months ago, then put a picture out today because you want them to think you went out and caught that big fish today.
Oh, right.
Or, you move the boat and take a picture of your bass, and then you move the boat another time and take a picture of your bass.
What are you talking
Then you
about?
move
I have, no, but here's the deal. I have video proof of every one of those catches in my truck, which is at my house. I have video, every one of them.
Did you bring the spider today?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
No, but
But
it's going to get to the point where unless you have video, nobody's going to believe anything.
well,
Because Photoshop's, nobody already believes Photoshop. They all
Yeah.
know everything's Photoshopped and faked.
Right.
Well, I
Right.
actually know a guy
Whatever.
that this was probably almost 10 years ago. He was pretty young.
Is
he
he
was
a
in high
fighter?
school. No.
That's why she doesn't talk to
so
me
she
anymore.
didn't
No.
date him.
That's why she says I knew
it.
a guy.
No, there was no way I would date him. Anyways,
Well, whoever this guy is, take that as an insult.
he had shot a doe and then had found, I don't know where he came across the rack or whatever, but it was a huge buck rack, and he had placed the antlers on the doe and took a picture, claiming that he shot this ginormous buck, which he had not.
Really?
Yes, and so it went, of course, viral on Facebook, and everybody's like, oh my God, when did you get that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, come to find out, I don't even know how we ended up finding out. He didn't say anything regarding saying that there was actually a doe that was shot and there was just some fake antlers on there. Like, he was just trying to look big time is what it appeared.
So maybe for him it was just a joke that when people took it the wrong way, or was he actually saying like, "No, I shot this"?
I
Giant.
think it was geared to be towards a joke, but at the same time, the way he handled it was
Right.
not really the correct
Right.
way to handle it.
Morning, Derek.
it's
Well, but you've done that, right? Have you ever jumped in the back of some guy's truck and took a picture with it just to send it to a buddy?
no,
Oh, I've done that.
Really?
no.
I've done that.
You never
I-
done that? Like it's a
Just
joke?
mean-
a joke around. I mean,
See, but now I just want, let's just carry around like rattling horns everywhere we go. So like
Morning,
you catch a
Tony.
big fish, you put them on there and be like, look at this giant I got, Bring them with. You shoot a doe. Do it again.
Now to your point,
Every animal we harvest, just put a rack on it.
to your point though, I have a roughly 140 to 150 inch car kill that I have in my house, but no way ever in a day would I tell anybody I shot that deer. I mean, that's just the biggest deer I've ever held in my hands.
Did you mount it?
What happens is it was a car kill. I was driving to a job early morning. I'm like, oh, this deer's laying right on the yellow line. I better pull him to the side.
Oh, so you didn't actually hit it?
I did not hit it.
Oh,
I did
gotcha.
not. So I could,
Well, if I hit a monster, I'd probably get it mounted, put it up there, get the bumper underneath it or something.
Nope. So the way that it happened
shrine.
is the deer was laying in the middle of the center line. I'm like, well, it looks like a nice buck. I'll pull it off to the side. So what happened is the deer was still pretty fresh by the time I found it. This is like at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I grabbed the deer and I'm pulling it, kind of half sleeping yet. And what happened is broadsided, so the skull cracked right down the middle.
Oh wow!
And as I was pulling it, one side it was laying like this. As I pulled the head up, that flopped back, and then I realized that this is not a small deer. Like the deer was big to begin with, but now I'm like, this is a huge buck. Like for me, this is a giant. And so I pulled the deer off to the side of the road, ran into town, called the police, and said, I'm reporting a deer hit on Highway X. Has anybody else reported it? Well, I just gave the location away. Not anybody knows. Could be Highway whatever.
X is like where I was fishing yesterday.
Right, Lake X.
Lake X.
But so anyways, they said, nope, nobody reported it. I said, well, if I can, I would like to take the deer. Yep. So what you have to do is you have to come to the courthouse. So my morning got set back by an hour because
because you're a whitetail junkie.
And I did the right thing. I went to the courthouse, waited for the courthouse to open, got a at the time you needed a carcass tag for it.
I was going to say, how long ago was this?
Megan, I'm old. You can't ask me that kind of stuff. But anyway, so I got a carcass tag and I took the deer, and a buddy took the hide for a mount, and then I took the rack. And what it was is because the skull was cracked, I put it on a fake European mount. But it's hanging in my daughter's room right now. But still, I look at that deer, I'm like, come on, man! What a terrible way for that deer to go.
Right.
And the meat was no good after that point.
Well, you're not posting that picture on Instagram saying, "Look at me, I'm awesome."
Right.
But that would have been a good situation too because it was during deer hunting season. I think it was. That's why that deer got hit because it was early rut, and I think he was on the move.
See, that's the other thing too on social media. For everybody watching that wants to avoid a debacle like this, if you take a picture with somebody else's things, point it out because the second you post something, like I learned this with cars, the second you post something on your own page without saying whose it is, and people just automatically assume it's either yours or you're trying to say it's yours.
Right.
And
and then when you find out that it's not, then you just automatically negative connotations with it.
So like for me is when I'm doing car stuff, I always go like, this is not my car.
Right.
It's so-and-so's. I just like it a lot.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and it's like when I go fishing with Brian and he catches all the big bass, I don't pose with your bass pictures. Did Jimmy catch that one yesterday?
He did.
Nice.
I won't let him.
Right.
No.
You're just setting
That's
standards.
just teaching your kids bad things if you let them hold your fish.
I forgot who I was fishing with, but somebody had caught a sizable fish and tried to hand it to me and say, "Do you want a picture with it?" I'm like, "What? No."
Why?
Like,
well,
yeah, look at this fish my friend caught. I'll post a picture of you.
I think there's people that follow us that can attest that there's local guides that do that.
Oh, for sure. I was just going to say, charter fishing, trying to remember if I'm sure I held up a fish at the time for a marketing picture.
Right.
That I didn't reel in because you're charter fishing, right? So I'm running the boat, I'm running the lines, I'm netting because somebody's paying me to reel these fish in.
Right.
Yeah.
So at what point did I catch it or not catch it? I didn't technically reel it in, but it only was in the boat because I did everything else.
Right.
So I'm sure at that point over the years, I'm sure I took a picture with a fish that I didn't reel in, but I probably set the line and netted it.
But there's other people that are Mike Long in the situation, and
I was just going back to
Mike
guides.
Long
I think if a guide takes a picture of the fish that he was 80% responsible for catching, minus actually reeling it in, I don't have a problem with that.
No, but to repurpose fish pictures, like
what do you mean by repurpose?
Well, let's say you catch a really nice walleye,
right?
Take multiple different photos of that fish.
You mean claiming it's multiple fish? I don't like that. What I'm saying is if a guide, let's say a guide up in the bay, client catches a 55-inch muskie, just an absolute freak, 60-inch, just a freak. Is it bad if he takes a picture with that fish.
No, I mean that's
he didn't
right.
reel it in. His paid client reeled it in.
But that's a marketing. I think that's
Right.
more marketing.
I would agree.
But
Well,
then again, it's
But
probably.
that's what this stuff is with these guys. It's all
That's
marketing.
true.
That's why they're doing this.
That's
is trying to
true.
market
But then
themselves.
at that point, I mean, it'd be
they're
more,
obviously breaking laws to do that.
but it'd be more credible if you have your client take a picture and you're using that client's picture because
Agreed. It shows that client
that I
had-
can put you
You
on
can get
fish.
that.
Right.
I agree, but I think
What do our
if you
viewers
want-
think?
I think if you wanted to be the front page of your guide service, right? You don't want XYZ random guy in the front.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. That's a good
So I
point.
guarantee that's done. I know for a fact.
See, I see a lot of guides take
I don't have a
pictures with
problem
the
with
guy
it.
who caught it.
I agree.
Yeah, I was gonna
absolutely.
say
You know what I mean?
that's-
Like that'd be
yeah.
the way that I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, you know, like I look at it from ice fishing. I was ice fishing with my parents, and I had set my tip ups where I wanted them, and I had went into the cabin, which I mean is a dead eye view of all the tip ups. And my mom went outside to go do something else, and she just happened to notice that a tip up was up. So she runs out to my tip up, starts pulling my fish in. I run out there with her, and then we both pulled it up. I unhook it and everything. It was like a team effort. And we both took pictures with the fish because it was a team effort, right? So that's okay.
Yep.
But I feel like if I was fishing with you, Matt, and you catch a 5-pound smallmouth, and then you hand it to me like you want me to take a picture with it, I'm just gonna go, what? Why?
Right.
No.
Right. Oh, I had a
But-
point in my mind, and I just.
But no, I
lost
think
it.
on that discussion though, what do our viewers think? We've got a couple of people watching right now. Plus, what do you guys have to say about all of this? I mean, comments are kind of dead this morning. This is a good discussion too.
I think it's, and we're not afraid to get into these topics. I mean, like we're the CWD thing. You know, when we did that, either it's not interesting
Did you,
enough.
speaking of CWD,
I saw that.
that there's like no spread.
I saw
Did you
that.
see that?
That thing you
Wait,
sent me.
tell me. I didn't see
Let's
it.
talk about that quick. What are you talking about?
You guys talk amongst yourself. What's that Saturday Night Live clip where they're the older ones? Never mind. I'll send it to you.
How do we go from CWD to Saturday Night Live?
Because they had they did a talk show like in the early '90s on Saturday Night Live, and they go, "Talks amongst yourselves." I'm verklempt right now. It was
You're aging yourself.
okay. No, so the CWD
I probably
thing,
wasn't even alive.
Was it Grant Woods who posted it?
no, it was Dr. Deere.
Dr. Deere. Sorry, can't keep all these guys straight. But basically, he had a picture from 2008
Right.
and 2018,
Let me find
Okay.
it here.
and there's
just
been
hasn't spread.
in just the state of Wisconsin, and there was zero spread of CWD in 10 years. Zero.
Yeah. So here,
Right?
I'm
Is that
I'm
correct?
sending. I'm sending.
Actually, if anything, it looked like it went down.
Really?
yes. Yeah, it's not
You know-
nearly as big as it was to begin with.
What
Zach,
a-
it should be coming to your messenger here.
Works for me.
So yes, it's from 2002 to 2018, and so basically what it's going to say here is it's going to say CWD exploding in Wisconsin ? Here are two maps of interest for the distribution of CWD in Wisconsin. One, a cumulative map 2002 to 2018. The other for 2018 only. Can anyone see an explosion over the 16-year period? And no, you can't. If anything, it's
If
less.
anything, it's less.
It's less.
You never saw this, Megan?
Mm-mm.
She's a little skeptical.
So
I
it's-
am a little skeptical.
So and for
Why? No, why are you skeptical?
Where are they getting this information from? I'm assuming it's the DNR because it
Well,
looks like DNR
looks
map.
very
but
DNR map.
That's a DNR map. If
Well,
I,
yeah, it's even got the logo in the
if I
bottom
do
corner.
this, you've
Yep.
kind of got her. Hold up.
now there's
There you go.
Oh, there. So okay. So we're looking at and then
So they
there's
got it from the DNR.
the DNR.
Okay, so this is the old one.
And that's what? What year is that? Did
So
it
is
say?
that the
That's
cumulative what?
That looks
That's-
like it's July 16th,
2019.
2019.
So then, but there's two different maps. There's a cumulative map, and then there's the 2018 map. I thought only. But so if for those who are not aware of the situation, Dr. Deere is a guy that we hired to come into the state and help manage the deer herd for Wisconsin. This is years and years ago. He came in and he gave his input to the state and all this kind of stuff to help manage our deer herd. And so this is a guy that we hired, posted this picture
right.
of the spread that is, from the looks of the map, non-existent.
Right.
And if you
Which would kind of back to what we talked that other show. We're not wrong.
we're not wrong. And so if you read through the comments, he argues his point very well through the whole entire thing, and he.
What do you think? She's like studying that.
Yeah, because I'm trying to see. Pull up that 2018 map if you can. Zach.
I can send it to you as well, Megan, right now. But while Megan's looking at this, I mean, we're not afraid to tackle these very opinionated shows.
No, I like it.
And it's
All right, there's 2018.
And it doesn't mean we're not the authority on anything. We're not.
Well, it's just opinion. Right?
It's
That's
just
why
opinion.
we're not right or wrong. It's just our opinion.
And our viewers can. I think our viewers are afraid to throw their opinions out there on some of the situation. There's some that can. There's some that feel like they
not
want to.
everybody's got the stones you have.
But I'm not a fighter. I got to talk my way out of fights. Should have been in a lot of fights.
Well, I see it's definitely more dense in 2019 versus 2018.
You think so?
Yeah, look at
on
the
on the
dots.
bottom.
If anything,
on
it's
the
less.
bottom. No, on the
No,
bottom.
so
Okay,
that's
so if you look at the bottom, this
2018.
is 2018.
Right. What was the other one? 20.
Okay, so watch
2008?
the
No,
bottom.
2019.
Watch the bottom. Here's this year.
Yeah.
So you can
That's
see it's like a solid
2019.
blob. So it's more condensed, which makes sense, for a disease. I mean, it's gonna be more if that's
I
a
don't think
prevalent
that's
area.
right though. I thought this was like a different. They weren't year to year. It was like a 10-year period.
No, it was 2002 to 2018.
Okay, so that's the dense one. It's 10. It's 2002 to
According to their
2018.
map, though, it says 2018.
Where do you
Yeah,
see that
the,
on
the
there?
date at the
So
bottom of
that's-
this
Well, I think that's just the
publication
date it's posted. I don't think
Yeah,
that's the date of the.
What does the original post say again on the top right?
Let's take a peek.
Right there, where it says CWD
Oh,
exploding
yeah,
in
so they don't
Wisconsin.
say.
Here are the two maps.
Yeah, one's
Okay.
2002 to 18, and one's
Oh,
just
okay.
18 only,
Oh, okay.
which means there's no spread. None.
So,
Mic
but
drop.
which one is the cumulative map though?
One on the left, because it's denser. You can see on the left map the dots are so much more dense. That's because there's
So that's a cumulative
10
map.
years of data.
Well,
there.
that was the.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So that makes sense.
That
So
means
yeah,
there's-
I mean that's kind
It
of
hasn't.
strange.
It hasn't went down, right? It hasn't went down at all, but it hasn't spread at all.
So that can mean one of two things. Like first,
What they're
first
doing's working,
it's or it's
or
just
it's
not,
just a thing.
and then that the deer herd's gonna make
Come on,
itself
Megan,
immune.
let it out. Look
No,
at it.
I just,
Let it
yeah,
out.
I don't know. I'm curious as well.
So do you have further knowledge on this? That I mean, do you feel like CWD is an absolute concern in this state, or in the United States?
I think it is to an extent.
Why do you feel that way?
I am
the
more.
media machine has made her believe it.
Today on InfoWars.
I'm more concerned about the meat. Like, if
But
I eat this
it's
meat,
still
is
not
it
proven that
gonna-
it affects humans.
And that's the thing, and that's why everybody is concerned because we don't know for sure. And there's seems to be a lot of unknowns about
in
it.
12 years. How do you not know? You've eaten venison in 12 years?
Yes, but
Every
I am
year.
not in
Well,
that
we
area.
But
as
we
well.
don't know her 12 years ago. Maybe this is post CW. Just saying.
Yeah, nice. But true, but I think in the other portion of that, I think it's scaring a lot of people away from eating venison.
Yeah.
And then it turns what they're doing. I don't know if is that right, in turn or whatever.
Just go with it.
People
Finish your
are not
sentence.
hunting anymore.
I don't think people not hunting has anything to do with CWD.
I don't
think
so
the
either.
younger generation not being into hunting is just this younger generation's not into anything.
Yeah.
Other
Big
than,
fact.
More concerned about phones and
Other
computers.
than what this
and
does and
Yep.
tells them to do and what says, that's what it is. That's the problem.
My
So-
phone told me to lick an ice cream bucket.
I mean,
Let's
seriously.
do it.
I am a big believer of the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, there it is.
Is
Go
millennials with
anywhere.
cell phones.
We did talk
Go
about that
anywhere
the
in
other
public.
day.
Go to any public
I
place.
believe it. They're just
Literally walk through the mall once.
what was-
Everybody has their
what
head
was-
down.
What was
Oh
that,
my
what
God.
was that
Ridiculous.
Game, what was that game that came out that had people just running
Pokemon.
around? Pokemon
Pokemon
Go.
Go. Oh
And
yeah, that was good.
Weren't people
That's good.
getting hit by cars?
Oh yeah. Well, they were trespassing. They're going all over the place because
Hey,
it says there's
hey.
a Pokemon there.
Hey,
So
Did you
Hold
do
on.
Zach
it?
was one of
you know how
them.
many? Get your drinks ready, because you know how many cars I sold that year just from playing Pokemon Go in
Why?
the car lot.
Because you put a Pokemon on a car somewhere? Or one
No,
of
because
those-
I would just walk the lot all the time because I'm like, I'm not going to sit at my desk. I'm going to go play Pokemon Go, and then someone's going to come out here to look at a car, and I'm going to be right there. And sure enough, I sold
Remember
a lot
that
of
look
cars.
you gave him before? You need to give that look to him right now. Can we do that? Holy shit.
So
It is. This is the zombie apocalypse.
It's true though.
no,
it's
and
bad.
it's funny you say that because I was holding the door at a grocery store the other weekend, and for two younger kids, and the first one was like, "Oh, thank you." The second one didn't even know I was holding the door. She literally was right here. I was half tempted after it happened, or I should have after it happened. I was like, I should have just let the door slam. Wake up.
I don't think it would teach them anything.
It's
though.
ridiculous.
No.
I mean, and that's
See,
the
the
thing
problem is, it's not even the millennials' fault.
No.
They're just not taught.
No,
any
it's
better.
just cell
they're
phone
not taught
companies.
any. No, but they're not taught any better.
they're really not. There's no
Do your
restrictions, and
kids act
parents
like
don't
that?
want to be parented.
No, because you don't let them. Just saying,
Oh man, I tell you what,
right?
I'll tell you
Right?
what.
Right?
I hate it.
Am I wrong?
It's
I hate
ridiculous.
it. I absolutely hate it. And I was telling my wife last night, I said, I'm almost tempted. And now you got to make a post because people don't listen to voicemails either. Nobody leaves voicemails or listens to voicemails.
Well, they're all robocallers
But you'd
now.
have to social
See,
media.
I hate voicemail. Send me a text, please.
Right, exactly. But I want to make it known that, let's just say, after 5 o'clock during the week
Right.
and on the weekends, I am not going to be near my phone. So if you don't hear back from me, I'm not being a dick and ignoring you. I just don't feel like I need to have this right here. And I'm going to call a spade right now. My middle child has an issue. And maybe it's not an issue. Like, I'm going to get yelled at when I get home, and I'm fine with that.
She doesn't watch this. Don't flatter
I
yourself.
know. She should. She likes to think that this success of the Real Shot Live is because she has some part of it. She's shared it.
Oh, well, that's good. You should let her continue.
I will. I do. I'm like, you know what? I owe you
And if you say
everything in the
anything
world.
about it, don't, because you don't want to say anything about it.
Oh, I'd rather. But anyways, like, I literally have to tell him, you have an issue because this is it. And now it's to the point where he does this.
Why don't you just turn it off? You can block
Just
them.
take it.
Do you want me to show you how to do that? Is
Yeah,
it, is it
show
an
me how to do
iPhone
that.
or is it a Samsung?
I
or
think
what?
it's a Galaxy.
You can. There's
I
apps.
take
There's
it
like
away.
parenting apps, so you can give them an hour a day of screen time, and you can just turn it
I
off.
take it away, and then I'm the biggest jerk in the world.
Yeah, that's okay. That's your job.
It happens.
But now it's like I even called him out on this the other day, and I'll be again, because we're a very opinionated and I'm an honest person. I'm a little harder on him because he's a talented kid and all this kind of stuff. But we butt heads. He will sit in the back seat of the car now, just so he doesn't, just so I can't think that he's on his cell
Isn't
phone.
that crazy though? How they think you don't. Just because
Like,
his dad
I'll-
can't see me, he doesn't know I'm on my phone.
I'll walk downstairs.
I'm like 3 feet away from him.
And he'll be like this, and then it's like this. He'll hear me come downstairs, and it goes like this. And I'm like, dude, really?
right,
I know what you're doing.
right.
right.
I know what you're doing. But the thing as a parent nowadays is that's a discipline. But think about your parents. If they disciplined you, now I'm not just saying you,
Oh, right.
but our generation was no PlayStation.
Dude, I got belted. Like with the
Right?
my grandma chased me with a
Okay,
wooden spoon.
I caught the
first.
tail end of that. Okay, where like I still had those, the wooden spoon deal. I got the full experience of this. I got the phones, I got the other side, and you know what? I don't know if I turned out.
I
all
will
right.
never
We
forget.
probably shouldn't go down that road.
I will never forget my grandma chasing me with the spoon, right? 'Cause I don't even remember what I did. I fell to the ground because I was laughing so hard that she was chasing me. Then she was pissed that I was laughing. It got even worse.
Oh,
Then
it
she
got
got the leather
worse.
belt out because I was laughing that she was chasing me. And that's when I fell. Seriously.
That's
And I'm so scarred for life. Like, I mean, maybe I am. I don't know, but
so much.
He's never able to stir soup again. He can't do it.
God.
My daughter and I are like this. Obviously, the way I talk on this show, like I have not a happy home, but it's a great home. But my daughter and
That's
I,
just
like,
because you're your dogs.
we literally, she is one of the most determined, stubborn people I've ever met.
That's
in
good,
my
though. You
life.
don't want her to be a pushover.
Right. But like, why she does it with me and only me? I think mom breaks a little bit sooner than I do.
Oh, for sure.
But man, I would be afraid to fight her. Just because I don't know how to fight. But like, she'd bring the wrath.
Disclaimer: Matt does not go
I
home
don't
and fight his kids
my
at night.
kids. And I don't fill up pellet guns at
But
Quick Trip
I
with
think
air
that my
either.
daughter's like that, though. My daughter
Ain't
will
it crazy
not,
how stubborn they are?
she will not back down for anything.
And it makes you more frustrated. So like grandma coming after you with the belt after the spoon, it's because you're like, "Grr." Just break already. Just break. Let me win and just break.
But
But
see, that's where, like, with the parenting thing, they're like when they talk about 1 minute for how old they are and all that crap. You gotta.
I don't know what
each
that
kid's
means
got-
for timeouts.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, when they're younger, it's supposed to be 1 minute for how old they are.
I was gonna say, are timeouts
Screw
even a
that.
thing anymore?
Screw that.
No.
I sat my oldest down one time for 4 hours on a wooden chair until he confessed to what he did. 4 hours.
I used to get that too, though. My dad would just be like, go sit in your bedroom with your door open on the foot of your bed, and you sit there until you're ready to talk about it. And you're just like, what? And then you sit there for 3 hours, and you're just like, what do I do?
So this was he had a cap gun at the time. He was 4. He had a cap gun that came from his mom's house. So whatever. I told him, I said, gun. I mean, I hunt, right? Guns.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No
Like, point them. Whatever. I was playing this Thomas the Train set, and for whatever reason, I wasn't doing what he wanted me to do. And I look up the next thing I know, he's got that gun, and he goes, clicks it in my face twice. I lost my shit. I grabbed him by the ankles. I threw him over my shoulder. Took that gun, threw it in the garbage as hard as I could throw it in the garbage.
Yep.
I went over, set him down that wood chair, and I'm like, you're going to sit here. What'd you do? I didn't do anything. 4 hours. I went over there every 10 minutes for 4 hours until he finally confessed to what he did.
Whoa.
That was Jimmy.
Yeah. And now look at
10 minutes for 4 hours. But you gotta break that shit. Like, you can't
But
just...
that's the thing, though.
Who has that much time to...
Well, when you're trying to prove a point, me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You make the time.
And that's what I'm saying with my daughter.
I did the same thing with my daughter 2 years ago. She went through this spurt where she was just, like, yelling at everybody, everything. I'm like, if you do that one more time, you're not going to fireworks. This is 4th of July. And my wife's birthday is the 4th of July, so I'm pissing everybody off here.
Yeah.
So she did it, and I'm like, that's it. It's over. Done. She's like, what? I'm sorry. I'm like, no, it's too late.
Too
over.
late.
Done. Over. Mom's mad at me. Everyone's mad at me. I don't care. We're not leaving.
See, and see, that's the thing, though. It's like
Make you feel
today's
better?
parents.
I've tried that a lot.
Today's parents, though, they see an issue like that, and this is what they do. Oh, you're misbehaving? Well, here's this tablet. Sit on here and play a game.
True story. True
And
story.
that's 100%. Then the conversation's over. Man, I literally saw one time I was at a tire shop here in town, get a tire replaced, and I walk in there, and I'm like a teenager at the time, so I shouldn't really be
So
that
it's like
logical.
last week.
Yes, last week. It was a Thursday, sunny. No, so I'm there, and if a teenage boy can recognize where your parenting is going wrong, you've got a problem. This lady is sitting here with a magazine, right? Little kid, probably like 4 or 5 years old, running around the shop, like through the doors into the shop where they're working.
That's crazy.
And running around. All of a sudden, I look up, and this kid runs out in the middle of the street on, I think it was not college, but Wisconsin, on Wisconsin Ave, in the middle of the street. And one of the techs ran out into the road, scoops the kid up, brings him inside, and says, "Ma'am, your child was just in the middle of the street." She literally takes her magazine down and goes, "Okay."
No shit.
And goes back. I turned and I looked at her, and I couldn't stop stink-eyeing her the whole time. I'm like 17. I didn't know what to say, so I just kind of looked at her, but I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" I'm like, "Are you really? I mean, like, was he an accident? Like, what's going on here?"
Yeah, that's
Like, oh man.
population
But that's
control.
100% it though. So anyways, this time on 3 Married Guys and a Megan.
yeah. I love all this shirt. Just showed us when
Oh, well, we were
it all
talking about social media. Is where it's,
right.
how we
It
tanked it.
all comes back around, full circles, in the words of Brian Keller. But it still looks like you guys watched the fireworks. Though.
We did. Well, she
According-
was only like 4.
Right.
It was pretty hurt. I mean, she was pretty heartbroken, and the whole family left to go.
What
watch
did
fireworks.
she learn from that experience?
Don't mess with Dad. I think that's the only thing she learned. With. So she still messes with Mom, but she won't mess with me.
Perfect.
'Cause now she
Perfect.
right?
Well, and then hopefully to bring it all back around, hopefully that's what these guys have learned, and these other people that poach and do illegal activities. Hopefully you think that's what they learn. But you look at criminal activity, a lot of them just don't.
Nope.
No, it's a
Money.
game.
Fair.
It is, and it probably becomes an adrenaline rush
Money
after a
and
while.
greed, man.
Well, how
Money
much
and
can I
greed.
get away with?
Well, I
Right.
mean, that's like that walleye one. I mean, they usually just confess to it right away. They're just like, yeah, I got too many.
And that was
You caught me.
Yeah, there was like 30-something walleyes. I mean,
I was like, what are you gonna do though if you get caught?
You think
you
about
got a truck full of fish.
that one relates.
Oh, those just fell in there.
So close to home for that one because here at the store you hear conversations of, well, I have multiple freezers at different locations.
Oh, I mean from
The fishing aspect.
yeah.
I can go out, get my 5, give it to person over here, go back and get my other 5. Yeah, no, that's not
See,
legal.
here's my favorite thing is when you're fishing and you always, when you're fishing from shore, you run into a lot of people and you talk to a lot of people, right? And then you find those guys that sit there, and I have specific people in mind that complain about a specific demographic of people and how they fish. And then the same guy goes back to the same spot and takes, oh, you're pan fishing? All right, so he leaves with 35. goes home, dumps it off, comes back an hour later, leaves with another 35, and then comes back and complains, oh, these people come and overfish this, when you don't see anyone leaving with more than a limit. And you go, oh, really? Hypocrisy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I mean, it just goes in from the outdoor industry to just regular criminals and all that kind of stuff. It makes you wonder as a hunter, and not so much fishing, but as a hunter, I've been in situations where it's like, oh my God, that would be easy right now. But I've done some dumb stuff as a kid, but now that I'm older and wiser, you don't.
Which everyone does.
But it's not
as
to
a
the
young
point
person.
where it's like, really?
But here's the thing: is a lot of
To
people
gain celebrity status.
right. A lot of people don't realize though at our level too. Though, like when you say the word poaching, what's the first thing you think of? I mean, realistically, 90% of people think of, oh, you're talking about rhinos and elephants. No, I mean, you think about that, but a lot of people don't understand that poaching happens right here in our backyard all the time.
Every day.
Well, I look at it too, and people might disagree with me, but I look at it like the wolf situation. You come upon, all these stories of people finding wolves with a bullet in their head laying on the side of the road that wasn't clearly hit by a car.
Right.
Who did it? And then people think it's right or wrong. Well, guess what? Who cares? It's still poaching.
Right.
It happens every day. And for $1 a day, you can stop poaching in America.
That wolf thing, that's another interesting one.
That's a
'Cause
topic.
I got my own opinions on that.
Well-
Because it goes back to who's making the laws over this crap.
That's true.
Wisconsin has no control over it.
Not at all.
No.
That's
I mean,
all. That's a federal
so-
point at that, right?
Yeah, the Humane Society of the United States actually took state of Wisconsin to court because wolves were
The
endangered.
Humane Society?
Yes, there is a United States
What does
Humane
that have to
Society.
do-
It's
why-
pretty much like PETA.
But
They're like
So-
PETA, but not ridiculous.
But that's my point.
And
Just
no,
a little
they are.
ridiculous.
What the hell do they have to do with the
Yeah, I
whole
don't-
situation?
So what ended up happening then is because wolves are endangered in other parts of the U.S., they took that to court saying that why are we hunting them in Wisconsin when they are still endangered in other states?
Because they're not
Because they're not endangered
here.
here.
And you think that would be the case, but anyways, they won, and so state lost all control over controlling
All right, well,
the
we're gonna
population.
have to table this one
Yeah.
because Cody on here says yes, do a wolf segment.
All right.
There we go.
We're going to be fighting.
Forever and ever.
Investigative
and ever.
reporting.
Oh man, that's a wormhole to go down. Yikes! I'm another one I'm excited for.
The wolf one will be a good one. We should do that one for sure.
All right.
We'll do it.
I'll
Let's
make
do it.
happen.
You're not excited
talk
about
about
that one?
No, I am. I'll make it happen. I'll make a wolf episode happen. But anyways, so we're gonna wrap this one up. Hopefully, people thought this was interesting. We apologize for starting a little bit later on. We still got our hour of awesomeness in, but I mean, it's just to make the right decision is all it really comes down to. I mean, and if you're doing it for if you're doing it for social media, maybe you're doing it all for the wrong reasons. I mean, you look at how many people fish and all that kind of stuff. I mean, for me, I follow a lot of fishing and hunting celebrities and all that kind of stuff, and you just hope that you're following them for the right reasons and everything like that. So just make right decisions in life in general,
Right.
and don't fight with your kids because they're pretty strong-willed. Right,
And,
Brian?
and they'll beat you up.
They'll beat
Your
you
name is
up.
Matt Trout. Your
You just
children
got to
will
be
beat you
stronger
up.
than them.
I know. And then so let's recap what we found out today, that Megan only dates fighters.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Our daughters are very bullheaded.
and that's why Megan probably only dates fighters because.
Oh, if I had to have it any way, I'd rather have my daughter that way than the opposite.
Right. So
Matt cannot fight. That's
I
another
cannot
thing.
fight.
Matt cannot fight.
That's yeah. That's awesome. I love how we just opened the episode with telling everybody that I'm a big giant wuss bag. So that's cool. But anyways, we're gonna hit on the catalogs one more
Yep.
time. So if you haven't gone.
Cool.
So click the links. We'll get this up again through Flipbook and all that kind of stuff. But we have the original salmon and trout guide that's out, and it's been out for a while,
Yep.
and it's amazing. And then the new Whitetail catalog is out and is also very, very amazing. Great job, Megan, on
Phenomenal.
both things.
And we got new products arriving daily with that as well. So we just got Nomad, Sitka, and Lacrosse in.
Yep. And I put some pictures out there today on InstaSlam on that one.
There's so many new products that we knocked out another wall for
Yeah,
them.
there are literally very few walls left in this place. I'm amazed how it's standing. But anyways, so go check these out, and remember, we are giving away IQ 4 5-pin sight. It's a right-handed sight, and then a free pack of Nocturnal Green Standard Universal Fit Knox. And Zach's going to remind everybody how to do it, and then we're going to let him close it out.
All right, so to get entered to win those awesome products is like this post/video, share it, and then tag a couple of your friends in here to watch as well. And then next week when we go live, we will randomly pick a winner. Pretty simple, right?
Random. And
Yeah,
then
random.
we also brought back Free Hat Fridays, too, for anybody that was missing that one.
Yep,
So.
Free Hat Friday is back, and then also keep an eye out for, as we get closer to the fall here, Whitetail Wednesdays. If you have pictures of anything, it could be from a trail camera or, obviously, trophy kill.
No.
Oh, no, I know we want Trail Cam Tuesdays.
Trail
but
Cam Tuesdays.
Could you have crossover? for
I would
whitetails?
prefer to keep Trail Cam Tuesdays, Trail Cam pictures, and
okay.
Whitetail Wednesdays success pictures.
All right, success photos only then.
Yep.
Not the deer that you could have shot.
Success.
Yes.
You can't use the word kill. Is that bad?
I never
Success.
said, I just, yeah. I mean,
Post your whitetail
who doesn't
kills.
want to be successful?
Well, maybe the success
Doe,
is
buck.
just hunting with grandpa.
Well,
Right.
Okay.
You
That's
know, it's
success.
orange, right?
Kill
That's a
pictures.
success,
Is that what
right?
you want me to say?
I didn't know what
Is that
you were
what you
going
really
for.
wanted from me?
No.
All right.
I
Let's
just
wrap
didn't know
it
what
up.
you were going for. Like, what's a success, right? My kid hunting with his grandpa, that's a success, but it's not. Is that what you're looking for? You're
It
looking
ain't a
for hero
success
shot. I'm
if they
just
didn't
saying.
kill a deer.
And since I don't fight, I'm not going to fight that either.
I was gonna say fight.
Fight. So
All right, so we've got Trail Cam Tuesdays, Whitetail Wednesdays, something.
any
we're
successful
gonna,
picture.
we need a
of
day.
hunting with grandma, grandpa,
Just saying.
kill, no kill.
So Fridays, though.
Just not a trail
Fridays.
cam picture.
Fridays. We're doing Firearm Fridays.
Yes.
So every Friday, post a picture on the post that we put out of your favorite gun from your collection or your favorite gun
Nice.
entirely, or
That's gonna be
a
awesome.
gun that you want to come and pick up.
I like that one. I
Which
didn't even
one?
know what he just talked about.
I
Would you
listened
pay
to-
attention? Would you pay attention?
Matt, put your phone down.
Holy cow!
Yeah, right. I'm crying on the inside right now.
Wow.
But
Firearm
no,
Fridays.
the Firearm Fridays.
Your
I like-
AR builds are welcome because I need ideas for my next
I just
build.
want to see everybody's like gun collections. That's awesome.
Yeah. Guns are cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I'm sorry. I just don't get jacked up about guns. I'm sorry.
You should.
I'm that
You
guy.
should.
You should. The only reason we're having this show is because we can own guns. Just saying.
That's true.
Correct.
Thank you, America. America all day long. So, anyways, that's it, right?
That's
Cool.
pretty much everything.
Like, share,
So-
comment, everything like that. Please spread the word that we do TRS live. Sometimes on time, sometimes not. But
It's almost always on time.
usually one
Almost
day a
always.
week. So, and then we have Wisco coming up really quick. I know Zach was going to end it, but I'm ending it for him.
Go for it.
Wisco's coming up. Is that the 18th?
I think. Yeah.
And that's on Shawano Lake, and we will be streaming that one.
Streaming it live.
Streaming it live. So that's all cool and exciting stuff. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. Remember, don't poach, don't snag bass, especially to make yourself a celebrity. Do it the right way.
Don't do it.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it, kids. Say no to snags.
Just not do it. Cool. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest.